Hi, I'm Andrew Spieler,
And I'm Mary Hope Rennie.
and you're watching or listening to Behind the Sign, real stories from real estate. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Behind the Sign. This month's topic is marketing, my favorite.
Yes.
Right? Yep. And for our first episode of the month, we have a special guest here who knows a little something about marketing and social media, I believe. Would you like to introduce our special guest, Mary Hope?
Absolutely. This is Jen Delisle. She is one of the agents in our office. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Before we start, I want to know more about you
Oh, perfect.
because I believe marketing with real estate is really marketing ourselves. We're not selling homes, right? We're selling ourselves and our services. So tell us a little bit about how long you've been in this.
Sure.
And just been a couple of years.
Just a few. We're on,
Yeah.
I think, 20 this year,
Wow,
which is wild.
congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
Hard
awesome.
to believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why did you get into this industry to begin with?
Well, funny enough, marketing is one of my favorite things,
Ah.
and I have a marketing background. So in college, I was marketing communications major. I worked at tech companies prior to that, doing project management and marketing. So I have that background,
Yeah.
and I think, like you were saying, a lot of what we do is marketing ourselves as well as the property. Like, we're telling a story. So that's
Yes.
coming into play more and more in what we do. So if you don't have that marketing piece, you're really
Yes.
missing out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my background, I've been a realtor 20 years. Again, hard to believe. I feel like I'm one of the early first timers. I've only been at KW, which is rare, I think.
Yeah,
Popping
it's good.
around. But like I said, I was in tech before,
Yep.
and I got into real estate. I figured, I'm going to have kids, get married. What can I do to work for myself and just work just a little bit to make a little bit of money, and I'll do a couple houses a year.
Sounds like somebody else I know.
I did.
We don't just look alike. We have a lot of the same
You
story.
guys are sisters, right? I mean,
Yeah,
this is
people
fair.
think we are.
People do think, oh, you Mary Hope? So that's why I got started, and that lasted about, a minute. I feel like I did that and caught the real estate bug and said, you know what, like, I'm going to take this and see what I can do with it. So it's best decision I ever made.
That's great.
One
That's
of the
great.
many.
So, when you see real estate marketing for your business,
Sure.
what is your main goal in marketing? And now we're going to kind of lean into more of the social media.
Yeah.
But there's marketing everywhere. But I do know you lean a lot into the social media element of that. Why?
I do. I think it's changed over the years.
Absolutely.
When we first started, it was, do we have just the listing sheet? And I don't think
Yes.
we even talked about marketing.
No.
I think because we didn't have the tools. I mean, I came from a tech world where I knew how to use Illustrator and Photoshop and like all those
All the
things.
fun toys, yeah.
But, those are pricey and expensive and hard to use. I mean, you had to get a degree half the time or a certificate to use those things. And now with the tools that we have today,
Yes.
it makes it a lot easier to jump in and actually make what you want it to be, right? So, but having to pivot and adjust, figuring out, okay, well, how can I do this? I need to learn how to use Canva. I need to learn how to use all these tools, but now I can. So, going from just one single listing sheet at a listing, then we move to, say, like a binder or
Brochure.
we have
We
a
love those
binder with the
those
glossy-
binders and those
yeah.
fancy-
And then I don't do binders anymore. Now and then we move to a QR code because the QR code opens up all kinds of opportunities,
Yes.
right? So I can put anything I want in that package. And now sometimes I don't do it. It depends. Obviously, you want to market to who the buyer is, right? So if I'm in a 55 plus or a certain area, I'm not doing a QR code.
No.
They don't like that. So I'm doing a package so they can take it with them. Now we have glossy brochures and things like that. But pivoting, we want to still have marketing in the home. So we
Yes.
do think about that quite a bit. But we also, we do a lot, like you said, we're leaning more and more into social media because that's really the first showing. And that's where they find you first. And that's how to get them in the door.
I love how you said that that's the first showing. So
Truly.
there's different avenues, right? We're selling a house, selling houses, we're selling ourselves, we're selling our skill set, and I think we're selling the industry as well, right?
True.
So let's kind of jump all the way up to where we are now, because you have combined a lot of elements into your marketing, right? Not just selling a house, but the social aspect of it. What would you say because everybody wants to know. Everybody knows we're all on social media. Like, we're all there.
Yeah.
And most of us in real estate are doing something on there.
Yeah, you're just
And it's usually the biggest bane of our existence. And everybody says, I need help with marketing, right? Like, that's, no matter how much we do, we're always frustrated, right?
There's always a new thing.
Yeah.
There's
because
always
it's simple, not easy. That's the big, thing that people sort of like think about. It's like, it might be simple to record yourself on your phone. Yes, with today's tools and modern technology, but actually posting and then like coming up with the concept and the scripting and potentially editing if you're doing it yourself.
Right.
There's so much more that goes into it. So there is this kind of unfortunate fallacy that is sort of spun out there of like, anybody can do it. And it's like, it's a lot of work.
It's actually a lot of work. I mean, you need to have a system, which I'm sure we'll get into and talk about, because you can't just, some stuff we're willy-nilly, but I mean, it's systematized at this point.
Yeah.
Otherwise, because if you're not consistent, in my opinion, it's not going to work.
Bingo. Okay. So when you're thinking about social media in general, and I'm talking personal and business because it kind of comes in together, like it or not.
Yeah.
You can't just put listed flyers on there.
No.
What are you thinking of, and what kind of clientele are you thinking of? Because I think we all have our own business as well. Like, who is that buyer you're talking to?
Yeah, who am I trying to attract? So one of the things I actually talk about in my listing presentation with my seller is some of the things that I do are actually to attract other agents. So even, they're looking at MLS, but guess what? They also follow me on social. We all follow each other. So some of the things we do, now we have coming soon status and things like that. Some of those reels come out a couple days in advance, and I'm doing that because those realtors are going to reach out to me and ask me about your house and say, when can I get in, and ask me all those questions. So that's part of why I'm doing what I'm doing. So we can show that to the other agents, because that's how they're, sometimes either their clients will see it or they're seeing it first, right?
And that's like a highly non-tracked metric that is think of it this way, right? If you're offering 2% commission, right, and you have a way of marketing the 2%, because that's meant to, again, lure other agents, right, to the table to be like, oh, they're actually offering commission. There's some wiggle room there for negotiations. It's better for my client. It's the same thing if you're an agent who knows another agent, sees that agent has a home and goes, I know that if this home is a right fit for them, it's going to be a smooth process because I have connective tissue to this agent and I already know, like, and trust them. This could be a good opportunity, right?
Well, that kind of goes right into when you said that's not trackable. So much of real estate is not just regular, how many views I got on this.
Yeah, it's the intangibles.
It's the right views.
It's the right views. So when I say, I love that, and a lot of times we don't think about the other agent. What clientele are you looking at, and why choose the marketing that you choose?
Yeah, so we're looking, for me personally, since I've been in the business 20 years, I really focus on sellers. I love buyers too, but I love to work with sellers because I get to do all these fun things, like all the videos, and I just love doing that. And so I'm trying to focus on certain towns, certain types of sellers, whether it be a move-up seller or a downsizer seller who's moving out of state. I've been working with a lot of folks like that lately. But I'm also focused on relocation buyers. So that's the other part of, why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I'm capturing those leads.
Interesting. So how are you doing that?
Trying to give away all my secrets.
Yeah. Because we really,
because knowing the secret's one thing.
Doing it, oh my gosh.
Yes, is a completely different game. Yeah,
Trust me, if we could just put into place all the things we knew, we'd all be multi-billionaires.
That's right. Wave the wand.
Well, one thing I'll say is this: it doesn't happen overnight.
No.
It takes a long time. You can't just post 3 videos and think, okay, here comes everybody.
Right.
Doesn't work that way. I mean, it's a consistency over time. I feel like it took a good year of me doing consistent videos to actually start getting inbound leads coming in for relocation people.
And can you explain a little bit, like, what do those leads look like when they come into you? Because I think this is an important
and I'm kind of working on my funnel, to be honest with you. That's kind of the stage that I'm at. But truthfully, they're either a DM in my Instagram, or they're coming through my CRM, because maybe they went on the website and filled out a form, or they're coming through my Stand Store. I use Stand Store, so it's basically like a landing page platform. We have different things, downloadables, click here kind of thing. But it's usually like an Instagram DM or even a Facebook message.
And would you say it's warm?
Yeah, I mean, they're ready to go. If they're messaging me, I have to see that and be quick. So I don't lose them, because they'll be on to the next.
That's interesting.
Yep.
That's interesting.
So I monitor that.
Speed
So-
to lead.
Yeah. No, so that is, and those are, a lot of those are relocations. Is that what?
Yeah. They're either relocations and they're also in the town I live in, right?
Yes.
I'm really focused on local content because a lot of it is, it's keeping your brand alive, like people, like getting your brand known here, and that also takes time. So now I think I'm finally at the point where I know the logo, I've seen her face before.
Right. Personal brand identity.
Yeah, I have people reaching out saying, "Oh yeah, I've seen you around."
Yep.
That's like the stage. So I feel like it's finally,
Yes.
working.
Yep.
You know.
And now we haven't talked about also your sphere within social
Sure.
media. And I'm guessing, if I'm correct, that that's probably where it started.
Yeah.
Like your friends, because I know that's for me as well, right? You want to make sure they know you're not a hidden agent, that you're
Right.
But you don't want to be pushy. You don't want. So
Right.
how do you do that balance? Because
Yeah.
you want to be a human being.
I can tell you, your TikTok videos and your dances help
let her
punching
say
holes
that.
in the algorithm. It's great.
Oh, thank you. I have to say, I think my children's friends are my biggest followers.
Yeah, there you
which
go.
is probably, I don't know if that's good or bad.
That's a good thing.
Hey,
be honest.
longevity of your business.
Right.
Yes, it's
Give
right.
them another
Yes.
10 years and you
Parents
got
The
don't
a
next generation of buyers and sellers. Yeah.
So that's the thing. It's a balance of, you always want to educate and entertain. I feel like sometimes I do a little bit too much real estate, or I should do a little bit more personal, because you have different content on different platforms, right? Depends if you're on Facebook
Yeah.
versus Instagram
Yes.
versus LinkedIn versus YouTube.
Yeah.
I truthfully don't do TikTok. I started it and then shied away from it. I can't.
It's okay. TikTok's done.
tried.
It's over.
I'm like,
I've
it's not my
tried.
demo. I do really well. My age bracket, I think I do really well on Facebook.
Which is like 25.
I'm like in my
Yes.
20s. I do
25,
Facebook
28,
and Instagram, and I'm good with it.
Yeah.
But it's really like a mix of, educating and real estate videos, but it's also fun. Like Andrew said, my daughter and I like to do videos, but that's organic. That's what we do.
Yes.
And
We
it's
like to
endearing.
dance.
And the algorithm knows it. And then that's
Oh.
going to boost all of your other content because we
Yeah.
go, there's a real
That's
mom.
right-
There's a
right.
real mom dancing with her daughter. you
yeah,
know?
this real mom doesn't dance with her real daughters. They
Although,
won't be caught dead dancing
oh
with
my
me.
gosh. But although I think it's funny, people like to see my husband the most, who just usually sits in the
yeah.
background
Does-
and does something funny. But that's just him. And so, truthfully, we actually just made a dance room in our basement.
Nice.
Oh, I love it.
It's good.
I needed a whole thing. So that'll be the next video.
Yeah, yeah.
Hopefully we got to get that on online. But yeah, so it's really a mix of genuine content. Sometimes it is spur of the moment.
Yeah.
Sometimes my biggest videos are me driving in the car eating
Yes.
food,
Mm-hmm.
and people say funny things
Or
about it.
I've
And
had
you wouldn't
that,
think
right?
that that's a fun video
Yeah.
to watch, but apparently it is.
I remember, and that's when it wasn't as many videos. I would take pictures of what I was eating for lunch.
Yep. That was a big.
The realtor lunch.
Oh, really?
Right,
Yeah.
it was like chocolate, and
Yes.
chocolate and a Coke,
Yes.
right? Because that's what we live on, chocolate and a Coke.
I was eating like a bag of
Caffeine
pretzels
in
and a
different
soda,
forms.
and that's
Yeah.
my lunch at 2:00 in the afternoon
Yes.
when I'm driving around.
But I think that's where so many times we go from extremes of overanalyzing things and making it so systematic, and then how do we stay human?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's where. So how do you do that? Because you do have systems.
Yes.
You have an admin. You have systems of how do you do that while keeping human?
Yeah, I think partly it's because I like to do it, so it makes it easier. Like offline, we were just talking about how
Yes.
I am not a cold caller. I'm not a door knocker. I don't think I've cold called someone in 20 years. That's not me. I don't like it.
Again, another. We are twins.
Yeah, right, I was going to say. I've heard that before too.
I need to do what works for me and what I'm
Yes.
comfortable doing. I don't mind being on social. I've always liked it, and it's fun, and I can do it. So that's where we're at. But the content changes based on what we're doing. So I try to either do educational type of things. I'm looking at maybe other trending things that other realtors are doing in other parts of the country that work. Like we keep a file of things that we like a shared file between all of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's, during our meeting, I'm like, hey, I like this, we could do this. And then we try to plan it out.
Yeah.
So we always plan out, our stories for the week or for the month if we can do it. We plan out any particular post. We're kind of slacking on our posts
When
a
you say
little bit.
stories, you talk about like actual stories.
Oh, sorry,
on
like our Instagram
or-
stories
yeah, okay.
and our Facebook stories.
Yeah.
We plan those out. Our admin makes those in advance, so we know. Same with the reels. So the reels that I make, we have a system. I know that every Sunday morning, because I think Sunday's a great time, people are home, sipping their coffee, flipping on their phone.
Yep, lazy day.
Yep, and I'm an early riser, so I'm up, and I like to sit early in the morning and plan all that out, and I know what's coming, and so you can absolutely schedule your stories, but I actually will just post them live on Sundays. And then I find that those get the most traction. I try to post them early in the morning so people have all day to look at them. So they keep going versus, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
So how often are you doing stories?
Yeah, I would say we actually do stories every day.
Yeah.
And some of it's more formal, where it's a nice, pretty graphic. Yeah. But some of it's more like I'll post the one today, like I'm in here. Be like, hey, this is what I'm doing. More like behind the scenes stuff.
Yes.
I think people love to see that, what you're doing every day. Yeah. Especially like real estate's a funny profession. Like sometimes we get that bad rap of, what do you do all day? Yes. Some days, I might go get a coffee and go to Target. But other days, I'm working till 10 o'clock at night. Especially now, it's busy season. Between now through July, I am like 7 days a week. And I don't usually take a day off because that's the market right now, and you have to go with it. So showing that behind the scenes content. But then also to doing more... like right now, I'm sure, as you know, carousels are back. Yep. And that's, the algorithm likes carousels. So we're working on making sure we have a couple carousels a week with different educational type of content where they can flip with the trending audio, things like that. Yep.
So you're planning usually minimally weekly what's going to be planned out.
Usually.
And you'd ideally like to do monthly.
Correct. I would like to do longer, but I feel like I like to see what's going on.
Well, that's the reality.
That's part of where I think people get hung up too. Is they kind of like, this isn't contemporaneous enough, or it's too contemporaneous, or like they start getting into their head about timeline.
And I think people that you can absolutely hire out some things, but I feel like if you hired out certain you can't. It's not you. It is not your vibe. It is
no
not
matter
your
what I see, no matter who it is. You can have some of it hired out for posting or whatever, but it has to be you because that's back again. Although you have what you're trying to teach them and all that, they want to just see your face.
Right. I'm very particular about what our branding looks like. The colors, it's consistent. If I see a goofy graphic, I'm like, nope.
No graphics. Graphics are not allowed. That's a big no-no.
I'm very particular, and I'm lucky that my admin and my team know.
Yes.
We share an account, and we see it all, and, we're very particular about what goes up there.
Yeah.
It's good.
So what would you say so we all are on there. We all have a business page, we have a personal page, and we don't know what to do with it all. But you said something but you said something about consistency. If someone is on there but hasn't done much, what would be probably the first thing you would recommend to them to kind of get the thing going?
Just to get started? Oh, that's a great question. I mean, I think you just have to jump in and try it. Like I was joking before, I look back on maybe when Facebook started and you see the memories. I'm like, what was I thinking when I post this? This is so boring and awful.
But Facebook was different. Social media was different.
You're absolutely right. It was a different time. I didn't have to think about my hook.
Yeah.
Right?
It wasn't video based.
Right.
It was not video based.
Right, there weren't even pictures. I just had the sentence I went to Target.
It was like Twitter. It was the robust version of Twitter at the time.
No, it was. I remember when Instagram became more, I'm like, I have to put a photo on everything I post.
Yeah, I know, me too. Oh, this is a lot
of
work.
But I think, again, that's why it's such a complex thing, and I think the beauty of marketing is it's always new.
Yep.
The difficulty of marketing is it's always new.
Yes.
And that I think everybody wants that quick button of plug and play, and it doesn't sound like you're never going to be plugging.
There is no one size fits all template for people to just hit.
You mean there's no just the template just to plug in?
No.
It's what you're speaking to is authenticity over time. Right? Like you grow to have an understanding of yourself through your audience's eyes, through these platforms, and that just takes time. It's a process, and it's not going to happen like this,
It doesn't happen overnight.
No.
Well, and I think another thing you said is knowing who you are and who your audience is, because yours is going to look so much different than another agent, and it shouldn't look the same because your target audience is different, right? You focus on more of a luxury brand and a certain thing. If you have the graphics it's going to look different, right? And I think so many times in our life, right now in the world, there's so many things coming at us and we feel like we need to grab onto everything or we won't get it. But it sounds like you've kind of kept it simple, even though you're going into the trends, but you've kept it simple, like this is who we are.
Yeah.
And let's stick to it a bit.
Yeah, stick with what works for us. And like I said, it took time to get some traction, but being very calculated about what we're posting, the words I'm using, and who you're trying to attract.
Yes.
And one thing I will say that I took away from Family Reunion this year, that you might know what I'm going to say, is you're not the hero.
Yes.
Your client's the hero.
Yes,
I loved that. And just remembering that, like, this isn't about us. It's about how can I showcase this client's home or what we have to offer, whether it's our town or the community or those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was such a big aha. And along with that is so many of our posts are selfish, meaning it's about us. Which, of course, we're branding ourselves, but how am I helping someone by this?
Right.
And I think when we think that way and think of that person, who are we talking to?
Yeah.
Right.
It changes the whole dynamic because people are scrolling, not interested in, I wonder how Jen's doing today.
Yeah, right.
I mean, we all like to think that, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like looking at that photo,
Yeah.
the class photo or whatever. We're not looking at anybody but ourselves.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So how do we connect them? How do we help them and draw them in?
Right. I think part of that also, that aha moment, was telling the story. So it's not about like, hey, here's a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. It is like
Sorry.
right.
Yeah.
It's not very exciting. You
Right.
need like a stop the scroll hook that's exciting and that
Yes.
tells the story of the property.
Right.
Like the one I have listed now, right, is what can you do with 20,000 square feet? What could you do with this? This is your opportunity. Let's take it. So, and just telling the particular story of the property, whether it's the location or the family that lived there or why someone's moving or who would this be great for. And that helps you, I think, connect with your audience.
Yeah.
That's great. So I have a funny kind of, I don't know if it's a last question, but it's a.
I have one other one.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have my last question for you. What video or post had the most views that you have posted, or the thing that the most trend, like the thing that everybody's talking about? I know we've
Right.
talked
As
about
close to viral as you've come so far, essentially. is that what you're saying?
or most the one that's gotten the most comments, or even from
Engagement.
friends, like, oh my gosh, that.
It's always a funny one. Like, I want to say it's got to be one of the dance ones with my daughter. She always gets thousands of views.
Yep.
And then she did a dance with an influencer in Boston one time. That has nothing to do with me, but because the influencer tagged us, we had thousands and
cross-promotion,
thousands of
Oh,
views.
interesting.
But-
Okay, what was your most fun post?
The most fun? Honestly, it's always something with my family or my kids. Although Monica and I get together and like to do really fun ones too, like goofy ones.
Yes.
So, like we just did one the other day with driving by when you're a realtor, and then I jump in the back seat, like how you want to sell your house.
Well, and that's a great case because I saw that a couple weeks ago from another agent from another state, and then I was like, Jen's got it.
Yeah.
Picked it up.
So that's what I mean.
Got
It's
it.
doing our research.
Yeah,
I'm like, that
exactly.
looks cool and trendy. Let's see if we can figure that out.
Yeah,
And luckily, Monica's an editing whiz,
there
so
you
she
go.
did
Yeah.
it in about 2 minutes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're gonna have the right people in place too.
There you
Yes,
go.
it takes a team.
Takes me a minute.
Yeah,
Takes
yeah.
her 30 seconds.
Yeah. Okay, my question for you: the leads that come in through social platforms, because this is also just more proof as to why social, I think, is still the most strongest paramount way that you can attract leads. Is that, would you say the leads and the folks that you convert into clients were more akin to your personality, your values, your sort of like what you're best geared to serve them? Like, do you feel like they got a good enough sense of your identity from online that made them attracted to you, magnetically, like that's the
Yeah.
person I want to work with, and then
Yes.
vice versa,
Yes.
they were your ideal client type?
Yeah, so I think a lot of the folks that come to me verbatim will say, I really liked your look. I like your branding. I like your style, and that's why I'm calling you.
Yeah.
And that does happen. Now, it's another thing to keep them, right? We're kind of working on our sales funnel to try to say like, okay, the touches and those kind of things.
Right. Yeah.
Because so far we've had good luck, but I want to make sure, you can't win them all, right?
Right, yeah.
So we've lost a few just from, because there's a big time period sometimes between the time somebody reaches out
Versus when they're ready.
versus when they actually come here or move here to visit.
Well, and
So,
even
to
though
think
it's
about that.
I would call it a warm lead, it's not a hot lead.
They don't
No.
know
They
me.
don't
Yeah,
know
that- yeah.
you.
Right.
They feel like they know you,
Right.
but how
Yeah.
do you turn that? Then it's
Right.
conversion.
Right.
Even conversion of hot leads of people you know, but those are it's a the closer in proximity you can get to that person.
Right. It's trying to book like a Google Meet or a Zoom instantly
Right.
to say like, okay, I really want to learn more about what you're looking for and how I can help you
Yes.
Yeah.
to kind of do that conversion and crossover. So then they actually do know you, and then we'll know, like, and trust you.
And then when you do work with them, would you say that like they kind of, for the most part, fall in line with kind of what your approach is going to be and kind of line up with what their expectation was?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're looking for the market that we have here, and the houses that I'm posting, that I'm listing, is usually what they're looking for as well, which is I think why they're attracted. And we'll fill out a form because they see, okay, well, she's selling $700, $800, $900 million houses, so that's who I want to work with. She must know that market.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
7, 8, 9 million.
Well, 700,000.
Just not
I was-
6, 7.
I was like, wait a
right?
second.
Not 6, 7.
800, 900 million.
Yeah.
We'll take 900 million now.
I was like, wow, that your
What a
price point
market.
just
Yeah, that's right.
that's great.
Great. Well, thank you, Jen, for
Yeah.
coming on. This has been a great discussion. And obviously, if you want to see more of Jen, just search for Jen Delisle online.
Well, that's what I was
right?
going to ask. What are your
Yeah.
handles?
I
What are
know.
your
Well, we have Lux Living, and we have Jen Delisle Realtor NH, which is
Okay.
a mouthful. So I'm coming out soon with the new handle shortly.
Nice. Cool.
So, to
There we
make it
go.
little
That's a
easier.
whole nother story. is
Oh,
handles.
yeah.
I like
It's getting a handle on handles is the
That's
thing.
right.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. No, and I think that's really great is there is something about collaborating and following each other because that does change the algorithm. It helps you. It helps everyone. So thank you so much for being willing to come on. And I'm excited to see what your next posts are going to be coming out. So
Thanks for
Yeah.
having me.
Yeah, of
thank you
course.
so much.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
See
Bye-bye.
you later. Bye. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Behind the Sign, Real Stories from Real Estate.
We hope you enjoyed today's conversation and gained a little insight into the world behind those for sale signs.
Today's episode was brought to you by Keller Williams Realty Metropolitan, proudly serving New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, and Massachusetts. A special thank you to our agents, leadership, and partners at KW Metro for their continued support.
And thanks to you, our amazing listeners and viewers. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.
Leave us a review or comment. We love hearing your feedback, and it helps more people discover the show.
And if you have a real estate story you'd like to share or a question you want answered on a future episode, reach out to us at metro.kw.com or find us on Instagram, handle at KWMetroNH.
Until next time, we'll see you
Behind the Sign.